Life Philosophies Unleashed.
Have you ever felt like there's more to life than what we see on the surface? Like there's some hidden truth out there, just waiting to be uncovered? Imagine living in a world where the full story isn't being told, where key chapters of history are hidden away, locked in a dusty vault. That's exactly what happened with the Gnostic Gospels texts that have the power to transform our understanding of early Christianity. Over the last few centuries, archaeologists and scholars have unearthed ancient papyrus manuscripts in southern Egypt, revealing teachings that challenge the very foundations of what we've been taught about Christianity. These aren't just any old texts, they're Gnostic texts, written in Coptic, an ancient language that was once the lifeblood of early Egyptian Christian communities. The Orthodox Church, in its bid to maintain control over religious doctrine, tried to suppress these writings. Why? Because these Gnostic texts propose ideas so radical that they could shake the core of the Christian faith as we know it. Imagine stumbling upon a treasure chest not filled with gold or jewels, but with ideas that could reshape your entire worldview. That's what these texts are, a treasure trove of forgotten knowledge, containing teachings that diverge sharply from the mainstream narrative. One of the most significant discoveries of these texts happened in 1945 in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. Picture the scene, a dusty, forgotten corner of the world, where a simple act of digging uncovers scrolls that had been hidden away for centuries. These manuscripts, dating back to the 4th century, offer us a unique glimpse into a version of Christianity that was nearly lost to history. The big question is, why were these ideas buried? What made them so dangerous that they had to be hidden from view for so long? That's exactly what we're going to explore in this journey into the darkest teachings of the Gnostic Gospels. Gnostic cosmology, the original creator, and the Demiurge. So, what sets the Gnostic texts apart from the Gospels you might be more familiar with? For starters, these writings dive into esoteric knowledge, mystical wisdom that was meant for a select few who were ready to delve into the mysteries of existence. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, where each layer reveals something more profound and intense. Unlike the canonical Gospels, which offer a straightforward account of Jesus' life, teachings, and miracles, the Gnostic Gospels present a dualistic view of the world. This duality isn't just a simple contrast between good and evil. It's a profound division between the spiritual and the material realms. In the Gnostic worldview, the material world is seen as fundamentally flawed, almost like a distorted reflection of a much more perfect spiritual reality. This idea might sound a bit abstract, but think of it like looking into a funhouse mirror. The image you see is a warped version of reality. And that's how the Gnostics viewed the physical world. They believed that crucial information about our existence had been suppressed for centuries, possibly by early church authorities who wanted to control the narrative. Consider this: if you control the story, you control the way people think, live, and believe. The rediscovery of these Gnostic texts forces us to reevaluate the nature of early Christianity and the beliefs that were pushed to the margins. At the core of Gnostic cosmology is the belief in a transcendent God, a supreme entity that exists beyond the material world. This God, often referred to as the original creator, is entirely separate from the flawed world we live in, a world created by a lesser entity known as the Demiurge. The Demiurge, also called Yaldabaoth, is like a cosmic architect gone rogue. This being is responsible for the creation of the material world, but because the Demiurge itself is flawed, the world it created is also flawed. Imagine trying to build a house with faulty materials. The result might look fine from the outside, but it's structurally unsound. That's how the Gnostics viewed our world, a beautiful facade, masking deep imperfections. This concept of duality between the spiritual and the material, the perfect and the imperfect, is central to Gnostic thought and sets the stage for understanding their teachings. the 12 universes, and the flawed creation. It's fascinating, isn't it? The idea that our world, with all its beauty and complexity, might actually be the result of a cosmic mistake. According to Gnostic cosmology, the Demiurge, this rogue architect, tried to create a perfect world, but ended up with something more akin to a haunted mansion. Picture this: the Demiurge, full of misguided ambition, tries to build a masterpiece, but lacks the skill and wisdom of the original creator. The result? A world full of cracks, creaks, and imperfections, a prison for the human soul. The Gnostics believed that the physical realm is essentially a lower sphere of existence, a place where souls are trapped, unable to reach their true potential. Think of it like being stuck in a video game with no clear way to win unless, of course, you discover the cheat code. For the Gnostics, that cheat code was spiritual knowledge, or gnosis, a deep inner understanding that could set them free from the confines of the material world. One of the most mind-blowing concepts in Gnostic thought is the idea of 12 universes, introduced in the text known as the Sophia of Jesus Christ. This isn't just science fiction, it's a radical expansion of reality as we know it. According to this text, the original creator didn't just create one universe. There are 12 distinct universes, each governed by an angel. Imagine discovering that our reality is just one small bubble in a vast foam of universes, each with its own unique rules and overseers. But here's where things take a darker turn. The text mentions a flaw in the subordinate, a cosmic event that leads to the creation of our imperfect material world. This flaw is tied to Sophia, a lesser divine figure who, in her attempt to create without the guidance of the original creator, inadvertently gave rise to the material world and the Demiurge. It's like she tried to bake a cake without following the recipe, and instead of a delicious dessert, she ended up with a burnt mess. This act of creation gone wrong is seen as the origin of imperfection in the cosmos, explaining why our world is so flawed from a Gnostic perspective. This story of the flawed creation provides a powerful metaphor for the human condition, trapped in an imperfect world, seeking a way back to the perfection from which we came. Parallels with modern science and human existence. What's truly fascinating is how these ancient Gnostic ideas resonate with modern scientific theories. You've probably heard of concepts like the multiverse or parallel dimensions, ideas that suggest our universe might be just one of many. It turns out the Gnostics were exploring similar ideas centuries ago. Their concept of 12 universes isn't just a quaint piece of ancient thought. It's a precursor to some of the most cutting-edge theories in modern physics. Think about quantum physics, for example, with its mind-bending ideas of overlapping realities and quantum states. These notions suggest that reality is far more complex and multifaceted than what we perceive in our everyday lives. It's almost as if these ancient Gnostic mystics were tapping into truths that science is only now beginning to uncover. The Gnostic worldview challenges us to rethink our place in the cosmos, to consider that what we see and experience might be just a small part of a much larger, more intricate reality. But this isn't just abstract philosophy. It has profound implications for how we understand human existence. From a Gnostic perspective, we are spiritual beings trapped in physical bodies, like ghosts in a machine. We're stuck in this flawed material world because of a cosmic mistake. And our ultimate goal is to escape through spiritual enlightenment. It's like we're all playing a game of spiritual hide and seek, where the only way to win is to find the hidden knowledge that will set us free. The Gnostic Jesus and esoteric knowledge. Now, let's talk about one of the most intriguing aspects of the Gnostic texts, their portrayal of Jesus. In the traditional Christian narrative, Jesus is the Son of God, the Savior of humanity. But in the Gnostic Gospels, Jesus takes on a much more complex role. He's not just a savior, He's a bearer of secret, esoteric knowledge. It's like he's offering us the keys to unlock the doors of our spiritual prison, guiding us toward the gnosis that can set us free. One of the most fascinating Gnostic texts is the Gospel of Thomas, a collection of sayings attributed to Jesus that goes beyond the conventional Gospels. This text isn't interested in recounting the life and miracles of Jesus. Instead, it focuses on his teachings, presenting them as a series of cryptic, often enigmatic statements. One of the most striking sayings is when Jesus declares, "I am the light that is over all things. I am all." This isn't just about Jesus being a divine figure. It's a profound statement about the nature of reality itself, suggesting that Jesus embodies a cosmic truth that transcends everything. But the Gnostic texts don't stop there. They also explore the relationships between Jesus and his followers, offering a different perspective on the dynamics within the early Christian community. Take, for example, the Gospel of Philip, which presents Mary Magdalene as a favored disciple, stating that Christ loved her more than all the disciples. This isn't just a throwaway line. It suggests a much deeper and more complex dynamic than what we find in the canonical Gospels. It's as if the Gnostics are giving us a glimpse behind the curtain, revealing a version of early Christianity where the roles and relationships were far more intricate than we've been led to believe. Radical reinterpretations of Christian rituals and figures. And now, we come to some of the most radical aspects of the Gnostic teachings, their reinterpretations of Christian rituals and figures. The Gnostics weren't content to simply follow the established practices of the early Christian community. They offered bold, often controversial critiques of these rituals, suggesting that much of what had become standard practice was actually a distortion of Jesus' original teachings. Take, for instance, the practice of communion. In traditional Christianity, communion is a sacred ritual symbolizing the body and blood of Christ. But in the Gnostic text known as the Gospel of Philip, this ritual is criticized in stark terms, even being labeled as cannibalism. This isn't just a casual critique. It's a fundamental rejection of the idea that spiritual nourishment can be found in physical rituals. For the Gnostics, true spiritual nourishment comes from within, through the pursuit of gnosis, not through external ceremonies. But perhaps the most surprising twist in the Gnostic texts is their portrayal of Judas Iscariot. We all know Judas as the ultimate betrayer, the disciple who sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. But in the Gospel of Judas, this narrative is turned on its head. According to this text, Jesus actually instructs Judas to betray him, portraying Judas not as a traitor, but as the only disciple who truly understood Jesus' mission. It's as if Judas was playing a crucial role in a divine drama that no one else could grasp. The text suggests that his act of betrayal was actually carried out in obedience to instructions given to him by Jesus himself, the Gnostic legacy and modern spirituality. As we've seen, the Gnostic texts offer a radically different perspective on early Christianity, one that challenges the traditional narratives we've come to accept. But these teachings aren't just ancient history. They have a legacy that continues to influence modern spirituality. In a world where many people are seeking alternative paths to spiritual fulfillment, the Gnostic Gospels offer a rich source of inspiration, encouraging us to look beyond the surface and explore the deeper mysteries of existence. One of the most compelling aspects of the Gnostic legacy is its own personal spiritual knowledge, or gnosis. In contrast to Orthodox Christianity, which often emphasizes faith and obedience to external authorities, Gnosticism encourages individuals to seek their own path to enlightenment. It's like being handed a map to a hidden treasure, with the understanding that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. The Gnostics believed that each person has the potential to discover divine truths within themselves, through introspection and spiritual practice. In today's world, where many people feel disconnected from traditional religious institutions, The Gnostic approach to spirituality resonates on a deep level. It speaks to the desire for a more personal, meaningful connection with the Divine One that isn't mediated by rituals, dogma, or hierarchical structures. The Gnostic Gospels invite us to take responsibility for our own spiritual journey, to question received wisdom, and to explore the mysteries of existence with an open mind. The relevance of Gnostic teachings today. So, why should we care about the Gnostic texts today? What relevance do these ancient writings have in our modern world? The answer lies in their ability to challenge us, to push us beyond the boundaries of conventional thought, and to inspire us to seek a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. The Gnostic teachings are a reminder that the spiritual journey is not about following a set of rules or adhering to dogma. It's about exploring the mysteries of existence and discovering our own personal truth. In a time when many people feel disillusioned with traditional religious institutions, the Gnostic Gospels offer an alternative approach to spirituality, one that is deeply personal, introspective, and focused on inner transformation. They encourage us to question everything, to look beyond the surface, and to seek out the hidden knowledge that can lead us to spiritual enlightenment. It's like being handed a key to a locked door, with the understanding that what lies beyond is a vast and mysterious world waiting to be explored. The Gnostic view of multiple universes and the complex nature of reality resonates with some of the most advanced scientific theories of our time, like the multiverse and quantum physics. These ideas suggest that reality is far more intricate and multifaceted than what we perceive in our everyday lives. The Gnostics were onto something profound, and their teachings offer a unique perspective that bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science. Studying these ancient texts can enrich our understanding of the diversity of early religious thought and inspire us to take a more open and questioning approach to contemporary spirituality. The Gnostics were pioneers in their own right, challenging the status quo and offering a different vision of what it means to live a spiritual life. Their legacy continues to influence those who seek a deeper connection with the divine, reminding us that the search for truth is an ongoing journey. So, if this video made sense to you, and if you're as intrigued by the Gnostic Gospels as I am, leave a comment below saying, "It made sense to me." Let's keep the conversation going and continue exploring the hidden truths that these ancient texts have to offer. Who knows? We might just discover that the answers we've been searching for have been buried all along, waiting for us to uncover them. Thank you for watching, and remember, the journey to truth is never over. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep seeking that hidden knowledge that can set you free. The path to spiritual enlightenment is a personal one, and the Gnostic texts offer a powerful guide for those willing to embark on this journey.